Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this edition of Unpopular Review. While you're at it, why don't you give us a follow on these beautiful social media platforms known as Facebook and Twitter at Unpopular Review. But there's another one. Give us a follow on Instagram. We got funny pictures, we got updates, and we have things where we tell you everything that's going on. So why don't you give us a follow on Instagram at unpopular.review. And now, back to the show.
On a crate, bong on a blitz. Let's get the show started. Austin product placement, and here we have Dr. Evil himself, the executive consultant. How are you?
I would not call me Dr. Evil. Let's not do that. Y'all the ones that were over here with
Emperor Evil.
Now unless somebody's paying me $1 million, and all I need is $1 million. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for inviting us to your home not once but twice tonight. Unpopular Review Entertainment.
Gio,
follow us. That's going to be a nice loyal one. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. Such a great guy. That guy right there.
Yo from James.
Who's this guy? I see an L there.
Goldmember.
Goldmember. Yes, don't copyright
I predict that we're going to get flagged in this episode.
No, our editor edits the songs.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be mad because he said stop playing them, so I'll have to edit them. But you know what? One good thing about this movie is they played a lot of good songs during the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. One good thing.
Fuck you. Fuck me.
Hey, mustache from Austin. Anyway.
All right, shall we?
You know what I love about this? I think this is the first Austin Powers I can think of. No, it's not. I was about to say this is the first Austin Powers I could think of that we did when I was in town. But no, I think Austin Powers 2, I was in town, so that's fine. All right, go ahead. Do your thing.
Excuse me. All right. With Austin,
Goldmember.
Editor, come in at this point. All right. With Austin's fame at an all-time high, understandably, the world wants a piece of him, but they'll have to wait in line once Dr. Evil makes his plan to flood the world by melting the polar ice caps known, and that is Austin Powers Goldmember. Let's jump into the first segment, which is best of, worst of. Who would like to take it first?
Best of, worst of. You want it, Vic, or you want me to go? It's up to you, bro.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
All right. I will go. I got a few best of, worst of scenes. Let's go ahead and talk about the worst of scenes. Worst of scenes I want to talk about first is the opening scene. Can't stand
Why?
it. Don't need to see Tom Cruise. Don't need to see Kevin Spacey. Don't need to see Gwyneth Paltrow.
There you go.
Oh, hey, good. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, we are now live, not only on Facebook, not only on YouTube, not only on Twitter, we are now live on Twitch. And not only are we now live on Twitch, we are now in high definition 1080p, ladies and gentlemen. You can see all of this gloriousness along with his fellow castmates here and see who we got soon in high definition if you had that TV. Now, if you're using a rotary dial, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see us. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, live on Twitch as well as high definition. But I did not need to see on high definition, even though that was standard definition at the time. Tom Cruise, Kevin Spacey, Gwyneth Paltrow, Steven Spielberg, Britney Spears. I did not need to see any of these people. This is my problem with this movie, without giving too much away. Mike Myers got his head way too big in this movie, and I could see it in the first act. He's just feeling himself way too much, and it annoyed me. I like less is more to me sometimes. And when I see the first one, Austin Powers, and I see its opening scene, the second one was a little bit bigger, and I saw it there. But the third one, he just went all out like, hey, I can do no wrong. I'm the man. I'm the king. And I saw it in this, and I did not like it. I did not like the opening sequence at all. I'm not a fan of Mini-Me at all. His fight scene with Austin Powers is pretty entertaining, but outside of everything else, I'm not a fan of him. So I did not need to see him. I did not want to see him. There was a lot of scenes in this movie where I felt like, once again, Mike Myers' head is just too big. He just feels like he can just say and do anything. It is just going to people automatically going to laugh. People automatically think it was funny. The fountain scene where he was peeing was stupid to me. Very stupid scene. Goldmember, I wish they took out completely in this movie. I understand he's the title character. His character wasn't funny. I mean, he had some lines, yeah. I mean, granted, he had some lines, but his character wasn't funny to me. So I did not like him in this movie at all. Fat Bastard is comical to me, but his placement in the movie was forced placement. The end of the movie, I did not like. John Travolta being Goldmember, Fat Bastard coming out, doing the liposuction or something like that. All that is like stupid. Scotty Evil turning evil, yet he turned. I don't understand. I don't know what. So I couldn't stand it. So all that was my worst scenes. Let's go ahead with some scenes that I did like.
What you gonna say next?
Sorry?
What you gonna say next? What you got on my 40? You deboing all of my things I don't like. Go ahead, keep going.
My bad. No, I'm gonna say good. I'm gonna say good scenes. Let's see. Scott. All right, so the businessman from Japan. Right, that was another scene I didn't like. I didn't like that scene where Austin Powers was reading the subtitles. Stupid. But anyway, so yeah, put up the corn because that's what it was. But Scott Evil was seeing that Dr. Evil was laughing because the businessman was like, "Hey, I want more money," and Dr. Evil's like, "Haha, you must be joking." And he's like, "Oh no, you're not." And then Scott came out. He just giving a look, and every time he looked at the guy, Dr. Evil would look at his son. And it's like, "What's going on with your hair?" You know, and it was so timed very well. So I thought that was funny. And then what really stuck it out for me, the reason I'm going to mention in this, is because then after Scott hit the button for him to fall into sharks with laser beams attached to their heads, he started laughing, a very corny, very stupid, evil laugh, right? Mm-hmm. That was making everybody awkward and uncomfortable, right? And myself, I've been there where somebody found something funny and I might have found it funny too, but they found it so funny that they're laughing uncontrollably. Right, James, you might know the person as well. James might know the person as well. Vic might know the person as David, because that's who I was thinking of in this scene. So you're looking and you're trying to back him up because that's your boy, right? We all been there. We've all been there. We had that guy that ruins things. But you try to back up because that's your boy, and then you're like, wow, he's going way overboard. So then he says, and I say this line a few times, I always put this in my favorite quotes. Scott, throw it down a notch. Creep it a bit. Thought that scene was very funny, so that was one of my favorite scenes. The other favorite scene, ironically, of course, again, with Dr. Evil and Scott. And Mini-Me is when Scott Evil gave him the present of laser sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their head. And they said, I love you and stuff like that. And then Mini-Me was just sitting there looking like a little like, what's going on? What happened to me? You know, hey, I'm here. Love me. And and then he was like, and then Dr. Evil was like, cool, come over here and sit next to Daddy. And they said, okay, it's too crowded here. Let's get everybody to let's get everybody to leave. And he was like, not you, proud, not you, doctor, not you, doctor,
not you, Colin, not you, hinting arbitrarily touching knives and making things like you're doing something.
He said, not you, Goldmember. Everybody in the room, literally, except for Mini-Me, right? And Mini-Me's just like waiting for his turn.
He's like, it's uncomfortable.
And he's looking at him. And you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. And then the line that really made me start laughing, I was already chuckling, but the line that really made me start laughing is when Goldmember then said, funny, I was just talking about.
He doesn't understand. He's not one.
He's like, oh, the little one can take a hit. I started cracking up laughing because once again, I felt that way about so many things. Hey, we want you to go home. You ain't gotta leave, but you gotta get the hell out of here. You're trying to be nice about it, but the guy's not thinking of him. So it was really, really funny. Those are my two favorite things that I had to mention. They had me dying laughing. Throw it down the notch. David is not here right now, but I wish he was because I would have put a picture of him this whole time. All right, those are mine. Go ahead, Vic. Take it away.
You did put a picture of that. Was Brett Ratner.
Go ahead.
Product placement. Did you want to go next, or you want me to go?
I'll go. All right. So, one of these okay, just like the other two movies, this movie is a good time. That's what this is. So this movie is just more than anything just a good time. Now the reason why I named myself Austin Product Placement is because, in my opinion, above all else, that's what this is. From the beginning of the movie, from the opening credits to the freaking star-studded opening credits. And I'm sure that everybody got paid lovely, to the fact that Beyonce is like the the second leading role in this movie. It pretty much just shows that, because she was just one of the hottest people at the time of 2002. So like, you see Quincy Jones, you see Tom Cruise, you see Gwyneth Paltrow, you see Britney Spears. The opening thing, I loved it. I liked the whole battle between Austin and his girls and Britney Spears and her boys, and then she turns into a fembot, and the whole thing was just straight product placement. They knew that they had money here. They knew that people were gonna go and see it. So there was a lot of it, and I think that a lot of it was elaborate. A lot of the scenes that I liked were where everything was just so out there. Like, especially like, for example, when Fat Bastard was gonna go do that big jump, and then he starts talking about his rope team. And the rope team is in the back, and he's gonna go do the jump, and then he does a bunch of flips, and then the thing splits, and the rope team is like behind them, like, just all of those parts. Like, it was just based on reality. The other things, every single time that we saw Fred Savage, man, that mole stuff, the whole thing with the mole, like. Yeah, every time. Mole. You can't say Mo. Don't say Mo. And Basil getting all upset. Like, yo, shut up. I was right, Mo. And that face that, every time he saw Mo, oh, man. Yo, for real. But the movie is a good time. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, it doesn't.
Are you about to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Or are you giving us your best word?
You know what else I like? You know what else I really liked?
Oh, okay.
Daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair, to change my underwear. That song was hot. Like, and honestly, in my opinion, I think it's one of the first times that you actually see this guy in with his band and actually doing real music. I don't know if he did it in the other movies, but that song was really good. This song was good. And then Beyonce's song was good. The Goldmember song, that song was really good. Now, let's talk about the downhill. That's
another favorite scene.
Yeah, so now let's talk about the downhill. From the moment that Beyonce said, I say, what machine? That's when the acting went downhill.
Can you say that again? From the moment she opened up her mouth, you said.
The moment
she didn't say that for a while. She didn't say that for a while. Don't do that.
I'm not gonna lie. Here's the thing. Prior to that, the acting was good. You know why? Because she had somebody.
You're lying, Vic. You're lying.
He had somebody there acting for her. When that guy was sitting there talking to Austin, and he was there like pretending that he was her, and she was doing the talking, and that, like, right there, her acting was good, right? But then as soon as she lost that guy, then the acting went bad. So yeah.
Well, that was Pumbaa. Pumbaa was helping him. Nathan Lane was helping him.
Like Foxy Cleopatra should have just been like a singer and just kept singing, because you know what I mean? Like, Beyonce was a good actress when she was snapping her fingers, when she was moving her afro, but that was about it. Because but like I said before, like, she was a product placement. You know what I mean? She was the hottest person. Like, if it was 95, it would have been Selena. If it was now, it probably would have been Selena Gomez. If this movie came out now, I guarantee you Cardi B would be in this movie. Cardi B would be there with Austin and be like, she'll be like, I'll be hands down.
I think
guarantee.
I think so. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Here's the difference. Cardi B is used to being on camera and in front of on film, right? because she was on a TV show. Beyonce was clearly uncomfortable being in front of the camera, which is ironic since she's a stage performer, but it's a different kind of performance. And she was stiff and wooden throughout this entire thing. You said Nathan Lane helped her, but that's because we were looking at Nathan Lane and not looking at her character, Foxy Cleopatra. So
Foxy Cleopatra. Foxy Cleopatra.
Well, he played Foxy.
Now, mind you, this is supposed to be a spoof of the 70s era films. But I'm sorry, but go ahead. Finish your final thoughts, Vic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She played Foxy. He played Foxy Cleopatra better than she did in that segment of the movie. But that was funny. And lastly, anything with Nigel Powers. Nigel Powers was just awesome.
Yeah.
Nigel Powers was just.
Yeah, I did like Alfred.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for real. No, Alfred was great. He really was. He was great. He was great in this movie. Like,
Chris, you've really started something here.
Yeah, he was. Alfred was.
He had a good line. He had a good line too, and a good thing. He was like, he came out. He
but
said, "Don't you know how to
worst stuff and not stealing my things." So Vic, was that it, or
you need an issue? Grab a tissue.
That's a quote. That was a quote. You stole it. That was a quote. I have it right here. You stole it.
There's no order to the show. Exactly. Cardi B. She'd be doing all that.
Yep.
But it would be entertaining to see. Okay. Let me go with my final thoughts of this movie. I mean, my best of worst of. Chris, you had something to say? Oh, okay. So anyway, my best of in this, I got a few of them. I actually did like the opening montage. Why? I always like them. I like when they do the Soul Bossa Nova. That's the Austin Powers theme. The reason why Quincy Jones, and why I forgive Quincy Jones for being in a big part Quincy Jones is because he wrote Soul Bossa Nova. Okay, he's the one who composed that. So that's why he would be in there. It's an homage to him and to give him credit for that. The other ones like Steven Spielberg and everything like that, and Britney Spears, that to me, I agree with Chris, that is too much. I didn't mind the Tom Cruise and the Danny DeVito and the Kevin Spacey because it's supposed to be a movie. And if they did a little cold open like that and then they cut the cameos, that would be fine because it's just enough cheese and then you pull back, right? The same way, Vanessa, you're a fembot, Austin, you should try foreplay. That's cheese too. It's corn, you know what I mean? But it's just enough, you know what I mean? The holding up the cantaloupes and everything like that, the melons and all of that is cheese. That's what it is. When he has so many of the stars of that late 90s, early 2000s era, then Chris, I just read your name, Fook Me, the executive consultant. When he has that, it begins to be too much for me and it takes away from it. You know what I mean? But I don't mind it because this movie is cheese. I actually did like when he was pretending to be the fountain and he had to pee. So randomly there was some asparagus there and he gave him enough water in his system to pee and he's kicking his leg. I remember crying, laughing in the movie theater because it's so goofy. It's so stupid. And then the fact that his urine stank because he was eating the asparagus and the guard, it just has that, and he's smelling it from over there. That made me laugh. It's so stupid. It's so juvenile. I loved it. I ate it all up. I agree with Vic. Daddy Wasn't There. That's a great song. I still sing that one. Another one that I like, and we'll get to this movie later, and I claim this movie already, is Inside of You. Okay, we'll get to that one. That's by Aldous Snow in another movie, but Inside of You is hilarious. But Daddy Wasn't There, Fook You, Fook Me. Love that. That was great. I love the Harajuku costumes that they were wearing. That was hot. I love Medieval Woman, the song when she gives him the key, through the kiss at the meeting area in the jail cell or whatever, like in the prison cell. That was fun. And of course, the escape. Of course, the rap, as Charmaine mentioned. But I love even when they get outside the gates, then they're doing that little old-timey country music and everything. And they're running from the light, and then the light meets them, and they start doing like stupid dances. All of that is very cartoonish to me, and it's goofy, and I loved it. I ate it up. The thing that I didn't really care for is the mole joke got kind of old to me. I did like the fact that Austin Powers couldn't contain himself because sometimes he's such a kid, and he would do that. And the fact that he's holding it back, and he's like, "Molly, Molly, 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 Molly," and he's just screaming it like a maniac. That was hilarious. It's just so goofy. Yeah, it's just so goofy. I agree with Chris and I'll get to this in my quotes that Chris already ruined, but when Goldmember no, because I didn't say your quote from the last movie, but whatever, this is a different show.
I didn't know.
No, you didn't know. Anyway, where he says, it's getting too crowded in here. Because it was so cold. And let me just say this, because I have been the villain before. I'll admit to this. I've been the villain. And some of the best villainy is when you know somebody is being a jerk, but you can't look away. You have to watch it. And you delight in the villainy. And there have been many times when Chris has been the main villain.
I knew you were going to say that.
This is my best stuff. And he's done something so messed up. And I'm just sitting there just watching, like, are they going to break? Are they going to cry? Will they just take it? And to Chris's credit, they just took it. And that made me cry with laughter because it was so cold and so messed up. But it was funny. And when he says, everybody get out of here, not you. And he's naming henchmen. He's naming random people. And finally, Goldmember says, he doesn't understand he's not wanted. That is so messed up. And how dejected he must feel. But it was hilarious to me because I like that type of humor. But let's get to the things that I didn't like. And I had a lot of it. It was throughout the movie. And I'm just going to put it under this. Beyonce's performance. As I said before, and I'll say again, she can't act. I don't want to watch the new Lion King. Why? She can't act. I don't want to watch the, the movie that she did, Carmen Miranda, the Carmen Jones. Why? She can't act. I didn't want to see Dreamgirls. Why? She can't act.
Nah, she did
Stop
better.
putting her in movies. She can sing. She has a great stage performance, but she's not an actor. Everybody can't do everything, and she should know it. Also, let me just say this respectfully. Her reading of the lines sounds stiff, and that bothered me. The only thing I truly didn't like about this movie was every time she was on screen, she seemed wooden, and I was like, where is Felicity Shagwell?
Facts.
Just bring her back. The dynamic between the two of them was the best out of all three movies. I didn't like Cleopatra, and I don't like that black, snapping your finger, yes, and honey, and all of that extra dramatic.
Shazam.
Yeah.
Shazam.
I don't, this, listen.
She found something to say.
This is not my show. This is not my show, so I can't call it what it is. But let me just say this. I don't like that stereotypical behavior. I'll couch it in that. I don't like that at all. And it kept taking me out the movie. Just have Felicity Shagwell in there. I would have enjoyed it far better.
Okay. Oh, that was it? You said you had a lot.
My worst stuff
that was
Beyonce.
Yo, James, I gotta say that was 2 minutes, bro. That was 2 minutes.
I like this movie.
I know the last time you had a segment that lasted 2 minutes. We're going to take it. Hey, John, you're watching Unpopular Review.
Doctor Strange.
Oh my God, we're watching Unpopular Review. We'll be back after this brief commercial break. Stay with us. When we come back, we're talking recasting. We're talking quotables. Can't wait for that one.
After this segment, right? Slobby Bobby, or as I like to call him, Bobby Smashley, decides to smash Riddle's foot, but he completely misses his foot. Like.
Yeah, but Riddle sold it well. That's what Riddle does.
He sold it well, yes, but more importantly, Bobby Smashley is so powerful that he misses this man's foot entirely, hits the ground, and still causes this amount of damage.
Smash, little man!
So that's how powerful Smashley is.
All right. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to jump right into our next segment. It's called Quotables, which apparently a few of us have already taken a lot of them. So we're going to let Vic go first this time. So Vic, if you have any quotables left that was not mentioned, feel free to go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Let's see. One from Dr. Evil. All right, let me find my ball.
That was a good one.
1, 2, and 3. I'm okay. The one that I didn't like that was nasty was, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a keeper. And God, that was
Save me for myself.
okay. Another one that I didn't get a chance to put up, but I'll just read it to you. Sorry, little fella. I was wondering, is everything in proportion down there? You know, your body dangler, your kickle stick, your admiral and 2 colonels, master of ceremonies. Don't be shy. Let's have a look. My lord, you're a tripod. What you been feeding that thing, eh? Good thing is, if you ever get tired, you can use it as a kickstand. That shit every time.
Now, what accent were you just giving us?
Huh?
What accent were you giving us when you were reading that?
I don't know. I was trying, but
was he
that shit.
Irish? Was he an Irishman?
Yeah. I was trying British, but it didn't. It's not good yet. It's not good yet. But anyway, that shit had me rolling. That had me dying. Like when he said that to Mini-Me, that was just too funny, and it was great because that's literally how he got Mini-Me on his side. And like he didn't even know who Mini-Me was earlier, and then he starts talking to him about respect and all this other stuff, and then he literally got Mini-Me to pull out his wing, and he pretty much just boosted his ego on that, and all of a sudden Mini-Me is on Austin Powers' side, which I thought that was cool. That's why I liked that quote. And if I could quote it, I would, but just the entire scene between Austin and Nigel talking English. Like I was trying to figure out all the stuff they were saying, and it was pretty cool.
What's up, Ron?
But yeah.
What's going on, man?
Everything.
All right, Chris, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'm going to go real quick. And before I go, as you all know, there's usually 4 of us. C is currently out right now. She'll be back as soon as she can. But she did want me to give this gift specifically to Vic because he mentioned it earlier. So, Vic, this is for you. This is from the previous movie. There is your Bernie Sanders on
great.
Professor Xavier's.
Oh, thank you. That is awesome.
Right. The funny thing about C, she's so thorough in her crap that she actually tagged her name in it to make sure no one's stealing it. She's gonna let everybody know this is her work. Right? Do not claim her work. But she went on to do that.
Chris, can you send that to me, please?
Yeah, she actually tagged you in it on Instagram, but I'll.
She did. I'm gonna pop her name out and then post it.
Don't do that. She gets upset. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my quotables. I only have 2. I only have 2.
I hope you bring that effort to the show, the next show you're on, and you actually grade my movies well, okay?
Mitten wants to know Ron was for dinner. Ron laughs him off. Mitten laughs with him. Unpopular Bacardi. I've been drinking. All right, so
so has Vic.
Vic actually stole this earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mention it also because
Vic, are you thirsty?
It was a good quote. And it's actually from Nigel Powers. And it's a quote I say even to this day, especially when I was working in human resources. Somebody comes in and they have a problem, so they're crying about it. And then they, so I tell them, got an issue? Here's a tissue. Love that quote. Because it's just so apropos. All right, so another quote I have, and I'm not going to talk about the whole thing, but the beginning opening scene, Steven Spielberg asked Austin, "Hey, do you like this?" Blah 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 blah. Austin gives him a whole bunch of compliments. Something else I utilize now. Austin gives him a whole bunch of compliments, right, to let him know, "Hey, I'm not coming at you. Relax, bro." And then at the end, he says, "That being said, I do have some thoughts." I say that all the time, especially when I'm about to give you some real constructive criticism, and I know you don't take constructive criticism well. I will build your character up. I'm giving away all my secrets. I will build your character up before I tear you down. I have some thoughts. Those are my 2 quotables, though. That's me. Fuck you. It's on you.
Right. Wait. I just got one more.
Oh, sure, Vic. Go ahead. Sure, go ahead.
You are so beautiful. You look like an angel. Are you sure that you're not a clone of an angel?
I did laugh at this.
Oh, that was sweet. And then he writes another one. He's like, "Are you sure you don't have any clone in you?" "No, my man, I don't." And then he tells her to turn it around. "Would you like some?" Horny little bugger.
You know, I have used that line so many times in Las Vegas and have never got to touch it. Go ahead, James. Take it away.
You said that you were a clone?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Okay.
No.
What happened?
The first quote that I'm gonna give it. No, Vic, go ahead. We want to watch you drink again. Go ahead, because you took that to the head. What's in that? What's in that, Vic?
It's just water and lemon.
He's lying. All right. The first quote that I'm gonna do is Leo. I like that one. The way he said that, it was just funny to me. He's Leo. The second quote, we've already said it. Chris already ruined it for you, but I'll say it again. He doesn't understand. He's not wanted. I just thought that was hilarious because it was so messed up. And again, I've seen Chris do some messed up things to people. I saw him one time say, no, listen, Chris, people have to know. I saw him say to somebody, no eye contact, and they immediately averted their eyes. It was great. It was great. It was great, Chris. That was a power move. Kudos to you. Mm-hmm. Another one that I like is Dr. Evil. He goes, oh, I don't know. Who am I? When Scott is crying. That I will say I said to people, not in the same way, but when, somebody has a bad day and then they all of a sudden start to break down and I'm just like, bruh, what is going on? You had a bad day. All right, what are you going to end it all right now? Relax. So when he said, oh, I don't know, who am I? It was just so funny because he was mocking him. The last one, I need to put up the banner because it's quite a bit, and I don't even know how to translate this. This is what Vic was looking for earlier, but he couldn't steal it. Hey.
Shot on a turtle.
And she shot on a turtle. See, that's the English accent.
The funny thing is about that scene is they were actually
speaking
real English. And then at the end, it was completely nonsense. Like I thought they were going to do the whole time, because if you actually spoke the language, you can understand it. I know some of it, so I understand some of it. Other things, you got to close caption it. But then it was like, nah, we got nothing for you. And then it ends with that. I'm like, wow, okay. All right.
I called Dylan to translate for me. I called Dylan to translate for me, and he explained what they were saying. Because some of the subtitles were off, so I can't. Anyway,
where's the button?
And look at you. You haven't even got a name tag. You got no check. What are you doing? I'm trying to read this quote. And look at you. You haven't even got a name tag. You got no chance. Go on and lay down, son. Go on. And it was so funny.
That was awesome.
See, you've never done this before. First, I'm gonna take out you. You're gonna attack me one, each of you by yourselves, and I'm gonna get judo chop, and then judo chop.
He said, "I'm gonna take you out with a single chop." All right, let's go.
It was so smooth the way he did it, and Dr. E was like, "Ooh, he's good, isn't he?" And then he goes to the guy. The guy's like with the gun, and he's like all shaking and everything. He says, "And you haven't even got a name tag. You've got no chance, son." And it's so funny because they're spoofing obviously the James Bond films, and he's like, "You know you're gonna die. Just go ahead and lay down. Go ahead." And then he says, "Dr. Evil, give yourself up." It was just a smooth scene, but it was funny the way they did it. Those were my quotes.
It was funny. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our quotables for the night. Let's go ahead into the recast segment where we recast the person, place, or thing, so to speak, title, whatever you want to do, and put something in there that is just as good, if not better, and you try to make it make sense. That's the new game of this segment, because if you looked at the last episode of X-Men, Vic tried to recast something that made no sense whatsoever. So you have to try to make it make sense like Vic, or you have to try to make it have some dignity like Fuku over there. And it usually is a whole bunch of tomfoolery poltergeist. So let's go ahead and go to the recasting. Austin, product placement, if you don't mind taking it away, or do you want me to go ahead and do it? And why did somebody change my name? That's why. Who put me as Fook Me, the executive consultant? That's what I want to know.
I thought you did that. You didn't do that?
You know what I love about those?
I did not do that.
Like, yo, he noticed that shit like way late.
Yeah, I showed that.
You know what's funny? It's like, because I'm Chris, right? All right. I don't think anybody has the balls to do it, and then I realize who I'm dealing with. All right. So yeah, I can't believe you did that shit. All right. Honestly speaking, this is going to sound kind of weird. I don't have a recasted. I just realized that. So Austin, product placement, you're going to have to go ahead and start it for me.
Okay, that's fine.
While I change my name back to how it's supposed to be.
Okay, so for Dr. Evil, I think this actually works.
Oh my God.
I really do. I think that Kevin Spacey would really make a good Dr. Evil. I really do. Like, if they were to redo this and you know what I mean, with a different person, I really do think he would make a good Dr. Evil. And I really, 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 because think that Danny DeVito would make a great.
That was funny. That was funny.
That was funny. That was actually pretty good.
Because he's pumping up a storm, you know.
Let's see. So now, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to steal now for Beyonce.
Hey, thanks, Vic. Right. Thank you.
So Beyonce.
But you did, and I appreciate it.
I think that anybody could have played Beyonce, but they really wanted to show like a powerful, strong woman. So I think that this person right here is really. Oh, it didn't show the whole thing. Damn, that sucks. But that's all right. Y'all see it later.
I'll actually give you credit.
But yeah, I think Michelle Obama would have played really good in that role. She probably would have been a better actress too. So, but I wanted you guys to see that meme, but you couldn't see the whole thing. But fuck it. Anyway, still though, that that's it. I forgot why I have Steven Spielberg up here, but yeah.
Put up Bernie Sanders one more time because we know it's coming. Go ahead.
I did it. Actually, you know what's surprising that he couldn't find a way to put him in here?
Mitch McConnell.
Well, you mean this one right here? Actually, I'm happy because that's what I was looking for earlier for Charles Xavier. Because that actually would have been perfect. Shout out to See the Spirit. That would have been nice if we would have been able to do that. But that's all right. It's all right. It's all right. What about J-Lo? Oh, J-Lo at
she could have replaced Britney Spears.
She could have replaced Britney Spears.
J-Lo. That was somebody who was a superstar that's career went down the drain.
But
do you have any more, or is it Fuku's time?
But lastly,
you're still going. Okay, go ahead.
There's Mojo. I just want to point out to everybody that this is where the mojo comes. Everybody, the mojo. This is where the movie gets its mojo from, which I thought was pretty interesting.
That's because he composed it.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was pretty interesting that he just put him.
Are you replacing him?
Huh? Oh no! Yeah, what I was. Yeah, I was.
Can you tell Steven I said hello? Can you tell Steven I said hello, please?
Hi, Steve.
No, he's right beside you. Y'all are doing something. What is it? You cutting it up?
We ain't doing nothing. Oh, okay. I was gonna put him for somebody else, but then I lost the picture. Damn! But he did compose the movie.
So you don't have a recasting. You don't have one more. That's
no, I don't. Not for
Is it my turn yet?
You just wanted to give him some credit. Is that?
Yeah, I did.
All right. So you
we have a final segment called Final Thoughts.
All right. Well, that was my final thoughts. Thumbs up.
No, you gave your final thought at the beginning. All right.
Yeah, I did.
It's Fuku's turn.
He gave his final.
By the way, did you know that Fuku was played by Carrie Ann Inaba? She's on Dancing with the Stars. Did you know that? That was who that was. This movie actually has a lot of people and different cameos and everything like that. So my recast. Listen, I love this movie. Huh?
Thank you for that tidbit of information.
No, I'm sure you'll do that in your final thought as you do in every movie. Listen, so my recasted. It's hard because, as I said, I've loved this movie. I love the asparagus scene. I love all these scenes that they didn't like. I lost all this weight, but my neck looks like a vagina. Which one am I going to pick? Who am I going to recast in this movie then? You figure that they would have more recasted than me. Who am I going to pick? Of course, it's Foxy Cleopatra, the stereotype. Now, you already saw the picture because that's a stereotype. Because Vic stole it. So there's the picture that Vic stole. Now, if you look at the background dancers, you see they actually look like they're enjoying it. But she looks like somebody's shining a spotlight in her eyes and she doesn't know what to do. You don't believe me? Look at this scene. She's watching the movie along with us instead of acting in it. There you go. It's the truth. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. I said to myself, you know what? Beyonce gets too much shine. Why is she always getting shine? She was never my favorite. I was never a Destiny's Child fan, but I always thought Kelly Rowland looked better. Not in this picture, but I'm just saying. This is her and Freddie versus Jason. And I said, if we're going to put Destiny's Child member in this, let's put her in there. Kia Waterston is her character name. And I thought she did a great job in Freddie versus Jason. Chrissy, this is for you because this movie's coming up. And I thought we should recast her as that. Here's another one right there.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
There you go. Freddie versus Jason. Let's put her in there as Foxy Cleopatra. But then I thought to myself, no, maybe they don't want a Destiny's Child character in there or whatever like that. Let's see somebody else. And then I thought anybody would be better than Beyonce in this movie. But then I said, no, they're going to nitpick. They want somebody specific. So I said, okay, fine. Put an actor in the role of Foxy Cleopatra. And that's who I would recast Beyonce for, an actor to portray this role, or anyone. Or if we want to stick with Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland. And that's my recasting.
Kelly Rowland. I like it.
That's beautiful. Can we take that comment down? No, I'm not drinking. I don't drink that much anymore.
Shazam.
Yes, that's coming. As a matter of fact, we at the end of the month we need to review a movie, and we don't have a movie to review. We're going to let our fans pick. I'll put a poll stuff or a poll or something like that, and then you all can pick what movie we're going to review at the end of the month, Thursday at the end of the month. So if you want us to review Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, go ahead and vote in that poll. It'll be a write-in, so let us know. And I have no problem reviewing any of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not that all of them were good. All right, that's your recast it. Once again, tomfoolery. But when we come back, we're going to get into our final thoughts after these two commercials. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. Once again, you're watching Unpopular Reviews Entertainment Edition.
I know who you are, Gambit. I'm coming for blood.
Get to the floor.
Paris is burning.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Paris is Burning is the last pick of our host pick this month.
Vic is new to the show. He doesn't know the movie's coming up.
Well, until I saw the trailer, after I asked what was in, I had to, fix it up. I didn't hear or know about this movie at all. Much to my surprise.
I told you all about this at the beginning of the year.
You told me, you gave me hints, but I was not prepared for what I saw.
I told you. I said this movie is coming, and we're going to review it. This is it's a movie, but it's more of a documentary. It's not acted out as a documentary.
Yeah. Yeah, I was not prepared. So this is going to be a very interesting episode next Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, next Tuesday, we continue our X-Men franchise going into digging down to it. The next one's going to be Wolverine. And on Thursday, the last one of this host pick month, which is going to be Paris is Burning, which I'm just letting you know right now. Fook You is giving us the giant Fook You with this pick.
No. Actually, talking about it. The show, I'll tee it up for the audience, but I'll wait till the end of the show during my final thoughts.
You tee it up because that movie I'm sure is going to have a lot of tea in it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Reviews, and we're reviewing Austin Powers 3 Goldmember. Let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts. And we're going to start off with none other than Austin Product Placement. That's a mouthful. Go ahead, take it away.
All right. So, like the name says, that's what this movie was full of. Austin Powers 1 and 2 became very, very popular. Very, very popular. Just cult factions, you know what I mean? Like these things were just huge. I think in the opening credits, this was the first one where you had American flags and British flags. You had all of those people from Tom Cruise to Gwyneth Paltrow to Steven Spielberg to Quincy Jones it was just a big, big money grab at the end of the day. Daddy Wasn't There and Goldmember's hit songs. For many reasons, it was good. Storyline wise, not the best. Some things didn't necessarily make sense, but at the end of the day, we got some of the best characters in the world. Dr. Evil till this day is still one of the greatest characters in the world. So thumbs up. Flagged. What's flagged? Don't be a hater.
I know what she says flag. She says flag because of the trailer. The trailer was all song. That's why she say flag. I'll work that out later. All right, Fook You, it's on you.
All right. So as I said, I tee up the next one, ironically, for this one. Let me just say, I love this movie. It's really, really good. Some things are dated. Obviously, I think it's too entrenched with the cameos of who was big during the late 90s and early 2000s, I said early in the thing, but I still like it. I think, actually, it would be my second of the trilogy of Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me being my first. And so I'm giving it a thumbs up. Paris is Burning is actually a documentary about the... what is the proper term, about the ballroom scene in New York in the 80s and early 90s. And I wanted to present that one because in my generation coming up, that was something that wasn't spoken about. That was something that wasn't known about unless you were part of that culture. And I think more credit needs to be given to that community. And nowadays, especially, it's a lot different than it was back then. Back then, it was, as I said, invisible. And then there was a time when it was, well, arguably it still is deadly, depending on where you are. But I wanted to give a shout out to that. And when you actually watch the documentary, and I hope that the audience watches it, as well as the host, obviously, you'll see so many of the things that we have listened to, we've been brought up, we hear the vernacular that you hear nowadays, especially things in videos and music videos in the culture and everything like that. A lot of it you see has its origins here, and they actually go into why it is, where that origin comes from and everything like that. And I found it very, very interesting. This movie was presented to me because I was like, why are you talking like that? What are these words used? And they were saying, this movie actually explains it. And it's very well done. And at least for me, you come away caring about these people, which, as I say, in my time, were invisible or at least untalked about, right? And I think it's very important to highlight that because, as I say, whatever movie I bring to the table, I want to be fuller and better for it. And I really think that this documentary, as I said, more so than a movie, needs a spotlight on it. So it's really good, and I hope you tune in next Thursday.
All right, and once again, that movie's name is Paris is Burning. If you haven't seen it, please go ahead and give it a watch sometime before Thursday at 9:00. We'll be reviewing it, so you can review it right along with us. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this will be completely new for me as well, as I've never even heard of this movie. I didn't know anything about it until I saw the trailer about 4 hours ago. So I am interested in seeing what it's about. But right now we're talking about Austin Powers 3 Goldmember. Let's talk about some of the negative of this movie. Too many cameos. Didn't like the fact that they were feeling themselves. I didn't like the fact that, not that the storyline continued from first to second to third, but it also, just like I explained earlier, seemed like it deviated a little bit. It seemed like it was more jokey joke, not really storyline related, other than, yeah, I'm trying to do this to destroy the world and stuff like that, but how can I make a joke about it? How can I add some more songs into it? How can I add a song of this? Why is Austin Powers and Dr. Evil now brothers, twin brothers? So it doesn't make sense when they used to always kind of portray them as Dr. Evil being a little older than Austin Powers. Now we share the same father, and it's just, it was a little, and I realized how stupid it was when they both were in the academy together. It was a little crazy. It was a little all over the place for me on that. Once again, not a fan of me to understand why they brought him back, or Fat Bastard. Here's some of the good things about it. There were a lot of good lines in this movie. There were a lot of good jokes in this movie. I laughed. I found myself belly laughing at times in this movie. I did not find Beyonce that terrible, like James, Tom Ford. Was she new? Yes, and you can tell she was new, but she did not do a bad job. At the time she was still, she was in her infancy with Jay-Z, so Jay-Z said, hey, you can puck her, but you can't use cum. Austin Powers didn't get laid in this movie at all. It's just, and it's not that it's huge, but considering what they always try to do, Austin Powers, it was just a little ironic that happened. Didn't get laid and just had a little peck. But I had a lot of jokes. I had a lot of belly laughs. Dr. Evil was always funny. I didn't like his Hard Knock life rap. I didn't like the little thing where he was doing like this with the lights and stuff that James mentioned earlier. I couldn't stand it. It was stupid. It was corny to me. But I'm still talking about what I liked about this movie, right? I liked some of the liners I mentioned earlier. I liked the cast of this movie. I thought Nigel Powers was casted perfectly well. I thought Austin Powers was casted perfectly well. I thought Dr. Evil was casted perfectly well. I thought Goldmember was casted perfectly well. It was just a very well casted movie, and I did get some laughs. But at the end of the day, if I add up all my laughs and all the jokes that happened, it's going to be far and few in between. I did not laugh as much as many jokes as they told. I didn't like the scene where he was standing on Mini Me. He was on stilts. I mean, when they were standing on top of each other. I didn't like the scene when they were behind the curtain and the guy that actually played in Austin Powers 1 that gave him a thing. I didn't like that scene. That scene wasn't that funny to me. It just was a lot of misses for me. And I went in there really anticipating this movie because I love the Austin Powers series. It's one of my favorite series, and it really, really let me down. So at the end of the day, I'm going to have to give this movie a thumbs down because it just really disappointed me. It disappoints me to this day. And I actually tried to forget about this movie a lot compared to Austin Powers 1 2. I'm actually a little surprised to think this is better Austin Powers 1, which is arguably my favorite of the series.
No, I know that, but I think Austin Powers 1 is so close to the Bond films, and I'm not saying it's bad. The reason why I like Goldmember is because it's so cartoonish to me. I'm not viewing it through the lens of what it's supposed to be. But it's so cartoon. Like when he's standing on the shoulders of Mini Me, and he's like teetering and everything like that, and then Mini Me is spitting out the apple juice into the cup, and it's like, and he's supposed to be filling up the cup with urine. It's so stupid and over the top that it's like I couldn't watch it every day. I could watch The Spy Who Shagged Me every week, and it still be funny to me because those jokes they're smarter to me. This one though, if I put it in. It has to be every so often, and it's just like, it's so goofy. Let me just have fun and watch it. That's why I say that. The first one is very, very smart. The second one, to me, the quality of it is so well done that it's always been my favorite. That's why.
I will give this the third one as far as good thing. Like I said, the songs were actually really well done. I liked every song that was played. I didn't particularly care for Hard Knock Life, but it wasn't a bad song. My problem is, and this is probably where I'm doing it of the service, so I can come back and revisit it. Is I'm comparing his song "Hard Knock Life" here to his song in the second one, which was just the two of us, and I just thought that was so well done that this kind of took it back a little bit.
And I wonder if they got the okay because Jay-Z and obviously Beyonce.
Yeah, and that's also a thing. And speaking of Beyonce, I loved, and you saw that in pre-production, James. Of course, the fans can't see it, and we weren't recording, so it won't be an outtake. But I love "Hey Goldmember." I used to work out to that song. Yeah. It's just funny. It's a great song. And I do like that song, and I like the ending song. I can't remember what it was, but I played it in the opening. And of course, it's going to get cut out for copyright thing. But it was, soundtrack wise, it was a good movie. It wasn't a bad movie, but it was such a disappointment. I can't give it a thumbs up as an Austin Powers fan. And I think this was the beginning of the end of his career, if you ask me, because this movie did not. It got a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb.com. It cost $63 million to make. It made $296 million, 213 in the United States. So it did get the profit. They get a lot of his money back and then some. But at the same time, it wasn't really well received. And I think he knew that, even though he went in that movie saying that he probably was going to make another one, but he was looking at this as his last one. But he hasn't even really revisited it outside of a few times when he guest starred as Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, I think on a Tonight Show or something like that. But he hasn't really revisited it because it really was such a disappointment to the core Austin Powers fans. And then he tried to even capitalize a little bit on his Austin Powers fandom while making a movie that I consider one of the worst movies of all time. It came out in 2007. I remember I see it with my friends. Love Guru was one of the worst movies of all time.
I've never seen that one. I've never seen that.
Don't. It was one of the worst movies of all time, and he has not recovered completely from that one either. So, this was the beginning and the end right here. This is when he was at a high, and this is when it went down, in my opinion.
But I will say Mike Myers is a phenomenal actor, and he's done a lot of films and serious roles that I really, really enjoy. His performance in Boogie Nights is really, really great. If you've ever seen that movie, he plays, ironically, the owner of Studio 54, as we see Fox and Cleopatra is performing him. And let me just say this. I know I'm kidding. Obviously, we do it for comedic effect on the show. I thought her acting was wooden, but I think this is her first acting gig.
This was her first acting gig.
It makes sense that Beyonce will be
and she got
uncomfortable in front of the camera.
Main starring role.
Yeah, exactly. So she might feel a lot of pressure on her and everything like that. And I actually think that she was a lot better and a lot more comfortable in Dreamgirls. There are some scenes where I see her she's a little stiff, but she's a lot better and she has grown. So I'll give her credit for that. All joking aside.
Like you could even
I never saw Dreamgirls, but a lot of people told me that she did better.
Look at the DVD, right? Her name is in the center. She's first I mean, he's bigger, but she's first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's first build and she's second build. That's very important. And she got it, but she was really popular. She was still part of Destiny's Child. She hasn't broken off on her own yet, but but in Destiny's Child, everybody knew she was going to be the star. Everybody knew she was going to become bigger and better. They were comparing her to Michael Jackson almost, and she's had a very stellar career, and she's still going. She's still strong even to this day, and it's been 20 years now, pretty much. So, I mean, when she was in Destiny's Child, we were in high school. So, you know, she's had, and not everybody, I can tell you somebody who's bigger at that time in that year was Britney Spears. Now, look where she is, and look where Beyonce is. People don't even really mention Britney Spears that much. They know who she is, but people don't even mention Britney Spears that much. And that was the year.
I never thought that Britney Spears had the
feud with
Britney
Spears and
isn't Britney Spears
Aguilera?
Is it what?
Is there something about how her stepfather's holding on her money so she can't do something? I don't know. But it's all the way.
I don't know all that. I don't really care about all that. All I know is in 2001, Britney Spears was the hottest act going, and she had that mini feud with Christina Aguilera. And I was always a Christina fan. Christina was better than me by far. I couldn't take anything away from Britney Spears. She was a good entertainer. Britney was a very good entertainer, so I couldn't take that away. But everybody thought that she was going to be. Who changed my name? But everybody thought that she was going to. It's Vic, actually Vic. He keeps doing it on the slip. But everybody thought that Britney Spears was going to take off and become like the next Michael Jackson. And she ended up declining. It took a while. She was up there for a while, but it took a while, and now she's nothing. But Beyonce created her own cult. You know, the Beehive. And turning out lights at Super Bowls and getting another show 2 years later. Like, I mean, how many people can say that they did that? I'm sorry, what were you saying, James?
No, I was saying Beyonce's been performing since she's a little girl, and she's always working on her craft, you know, and that's why I'll give her credit. Like, you know, obviously she does more with music on that end than with the acting, but even with the acting, she has gotten better, and I'll give her credit for that.
You won't see Lion King.
I don't want to say what I want the reason why on air because it may sound mean, but
shocker.
Okay, no. I'll say it this way. I don't know if there's a reason why it sounds like she's reading like this. No. I'm not being funny.
Yeah, I know, but the way you say it
doesn't sound natural. It sounds like I'm reading the lines as opposed to just saying it, you know. And I don't know why that is, so I don't want to say it as maybe she struggles with that. I don't know.
I think you should watch Dreamgirls.
I saw that one.
Oh, all right. So she's much better in Dreamgirls.
No, she's much better. That's why I said, all joking aside, she did get a lot better in that. But again, there are certain points where you can see it. But again, her main focus is the stage and as a performer. So that's why you see her skill set keeps going higher and higher and higher, as opposed to if I played the trailer for Lion King and you hear Nala talk, she sounds like she's reading the lines. And that's jarring to me. It takes me out of it.
Wait, wasn't Jennifer Hudson in the same boat?
In the same boat as what? What are you talking about?
Jennifer Hudson, I thought her acting debut was a little bit better.
Yeah, she was better. She was more comfortable.
Like, she was introduced to the public through American Idol.
Well, Jennifer Hudson, you have to understand, was probably a better actor coming out of it because she was lying to her husband for years, so she was really good at acting. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're at the hour mark. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here at Unpopular Reviews. Please make sure that you join us every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday immediately after, if you're a wrestling fan, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, as we review that. And join us here on Unpopular Reviews Entertainment every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock as we review a different movie. And Saturdays review Black Lightning until they reach to a new series. So thank you so much for watching us, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you on tomorrow, actually, depending on what you watch. Or otherwise, we'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.
Thank you.